Hi friends, it's Sue. Welcome back to my channel, and it's flip through Friday, so I'm going to continue in my spring journal with what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. So I showed this the last time, so I'll just start here. This was just a piece of scrapbook paper that I had in here. It was kind of busy, so I found this little funky house in my stash, and this was something I had done, made a bunch of these after watching a video from Natasha at Treasure Books, so you can find a video of that on her channel. And I just glued it in on two sides and then used a scrap of notepad paper to talk about my day. And the next day was the big eclipse. So I cut this from something. I think I actually went on the internet and just Googled the eclipse and got a couple of images from there. And then, I wrote about the day and put the glasses in there and a little more on a notepad there. So that was that. So speaking of, things that don't come along very often, the next day I was reading about the cicadas that are supposed to, the two different varieties are supposed to hit the United States. And they've been talking a lot about it here in Illinois, that we're getting quite a bit of that. We are supposed to get both of them in some of our areas, including the suburban Chicago area, which is where I am. So I just found a picture of these ugly insects and wrote a little bit about that. And I did a little research on it and found out that two different broods coming about at the same time does not happen very often. The last time it happened was when Thomas Jefferson was the president, and it'll be another 221 years before it happens again. So truly a once-in-a-lifetime event, thankfully. And they estimate there will be more than 1 trillion of these lovely little critters arriving, and beginning, I think, in the south at the end of April, and then moving northward. Them coming out of the ground, will be a little later as you go north. This was a little receipt from some antiquing that we did on that day. So I just stuck that in there. And this was a little map that I just found on the internet and made that into a pocket. Just a few little things. We went out for breakfast that morning. I have to remember that if you put glue on the back of this, it bleeds through. That's just bleed through from the print on this. This was from the cash register receipt. But anyway, just a few little things I had in my stash that I put on there. This was a tip-in, and it was April 11th, which was what this day was. And just talking about a little poem about spring from a children's book. We watched North by Northwest and didn't fall asleep because a day or two before that, we started watching it in the afternoon and each of us fell asleep. So, this was something that I got when we were antiquing. And I put this on this page with this spoonbill, only because I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's going on that involves a bird. At our church, we have a meeting hall with glass that goes down to pretty much the ground. And we have this, not a swan, it's a goose that has been around ever since Easter. And he just is constantly looking in the window of this building as though he's searching for someone. And the word is that he lost his mate. Apparently they mate for life. He lost his mate, and maybe he's looking for her But that's the story people have cooked up, so I don't know. But anyway, again, the back of this book from a page from a children's book. This was a little envelope that I had made from a book page, you know, where you just fold it up and then put lots of little scraps on there to decorate it. And I put a piece of notebook paper to cover up the book text and sewed around there. And you know, I had a bunch of these that I made at one point, so I just, you know, was able to pull them out of my stash and just wrote about what we were doing that day. We continued with our Alfred Hitchcock and watched The Man Who Knew Too Much. And actually, I was watching the 1934 version, didn't realize that there was a 1956. So yeah, and then I did a little research. There were a few movies that were remade by him later on. Anyway, the next day I decided to do some avocado dyeing, and I went to my local grocery store, Mariano's, because on the weekend they make guacamole to order. And I went in there on a Saturday morning and told the lady I had an odd request, and she said, "Oh no, I've heard it all. No worries, you won't stump me." I think because people make it to order and they put in whatever ingredients they want. So she thought it had something to do with that. And I said, "No, I want your skins and your pits." And she just paused and looked at me with an odd look. And I said, "See, I told you, you know, I would get you." So anyway, we had a good laugh over it. And once I explained to her what I was going to do with them, she gave me a big bag with about, I don't know, 10 or 12 pits and lots of skins. And actually, as I was cleaning them up, since it hadn't been very long since she had made a bunch of the guacamole, there was still a lot of meat left on the skins. So I just, as I was scraping it off anyway, to get rid of it, I put it in a bowl and I had enough to make some avocado toast. And so I just snapped a few pictures. Here's the pot, and here's my first test of, you know, the liquid from it. And if you've never dyed avocados, it's not green. It actually winds up being pink or even a deeper pink. So this was just a test strip, and I wrote on that some other things that we were doing. Excuse me. Sunday and Monday, we took off and went to Lake Geneva and hit about, I don't know, 5 antique malls. So I just took some scraps. I didn't take my journal with me when I went because it was just one night. But so I just took some things like this coffee pod wrapper and the thing that the envelope that the key was in. And we had to pay for parking on the street one time when we were in the downtown area, so I slid that in there. And one of our receipts from the antique mall, and then just, you know, a little thing, the pad of paper that they put in the room. And this was just a little something from a book that I purchased. And since we were traveling to get there, I did some little map images that I punched out. And so that was that day. And Wednesday, I skipped Tuesday. Nothing much to write about that day. Wednesday, I had this in my stash as well. This is just an Edith Holden book page. And this was also from an Edith Holden book. And I didn't want to cover the back side by gluing that down, so I just put it in with a paper clip. And this is terrible, but I did a freak thing to my eye. I was going out for a walk and I had my earbuds in the case with that little USB plug at the end, and somehow I smacked my eye with that USB part. And anyway, So yeah, I haven't been able to wear my contact there, and I've just been dealing with that for a few days, but it's getting better. And again, just I had folded that page back and just made a little pocket and, you know, put in what we were doing that day. So that's where we are. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll be back to show you what else I'm doing as we go along during the month. So thanks for coming along and watching. Bye-bye.